Doing a another firearm review here from one of my other guns I got here. It's a VEPR-12 shotgun. I was cleaning out my safe here today, and since I don't think I ever made a video for this one here, I might as well do that right now for you guys. I always recommend putting, if you're gonna store your gun in a safe or something like that, you really don't need to put a I'm gonna call it a rifle sock on it for that, but I just recommend putting, a rag or something on the end of the barrel, to keep crap from falling down inside the barrel on it as like a bare minimum protection for at least a muzzle end, so you don't have any crap falling down in the barrel and stuff like that, or bugs or whatever in there. Because if you're gonna put it in storage for any length of time, you just want to at least protect the end of the barrel to have any crap from falling down inside it. And this one was purchased probably about I think about two and a half years ago, I think. It's the secondary model. It's the one with a non-folding stock. As you see right here, it does not fold. And I basically kept that in my safe for quite some time out here. It also has the Molot GK01 muzzle breaker. These things are highly effective. I can say that right with a point, with basically a straight face, because they're extremely effective. They basically nullify the rifles or the shotguns jumping up in the air, and basically it'll keep your shotgun on target if you're shooting at 25, 50, whatever out there, and it is very, very effective. They have a Molot GK02 version, I think, as well too. I think they had to redesign gills on the back here for that. I really don't know how effective it is over this one, but the price, it's like another 40 or 50 bucks as opposed to this one. This one's about $105, $110 plus the shipping and handling for obvious reasons. And I did upgrade this one. Basically, I got the lower handguard on it with the tactical railings on our side. So basically, you can put a light, a laser, or whatever you want to put on there for that. You got two rails on, I should say, you got one rail on either side. You have a rail on the bottom as well too, down here as well. So it'll basically accept any kind of lights or whatever you want to put on there for that. I also got, I'll show you in the back here, Russian, I think it's a Velocic butt pad. These things are very effective. This one's for an SVD. The thing about I like about that one is, I'll show you, let me flip it around here for you. The thing about these ones are, I think the Russian made ones, they seem to be a lot more softer rather than American counterpart ones. Even though these things are about 40 bucks a pop, you would definitely want to purchase one of these opposed to the American ones, because they're a lot softer, and because of that, you'll have a lot more recoil, getting soaked up by having it on the back on your forehead. Rather than some of the harder plastic ones they're actually 15, 20 bucks out there. I would not go the cheapy route and purchase one of those. But they're a quality unit. I think I got this one from Kalinka Optics, I think. I don't know if I'm trying to think where I got it from. I can't remember exactly, but it might have been Kalinka Optics. And let me see what else I got to talk about. Yeah, if you do get one of these, I recommend getting at least 2 magazines for it. This one here is a factory 5-round mag. Let me take it out here. Most of the time I keep these things loaded in the safe anyway, even though it's not a good idea, because you never know when you might actually need it out there for that. But rather than locking or better than rock, or it's as you do an AK or the Sega 12 shotguns, you just basically slap these things up inside there, and it locks in position because of the different mechanism they have in here. And you just basically pop it in just like that, no problem, and it pops right back out just like that or for that. If you do get one of these, I recommend sticking with the OEM mags, whether it be a 5-round, an 8-round, a 10 or 12 or whatever they have out there for that, because these things are built to a lot better standards out there for that. The other magazines are on market, like the SGM ones. They're okay, but I say but because I've seen people on YouTube and people reviewing them have quite a lot of problems with like feeding and fitment issues and stuff like that. So I recommend sticking with the OEM ones, even though they cost a lot more. The OEM 5-round, I think it's about 30 or 40 bucks. The 8-round one here, this similar to this, is about I think it's about 90 or 100 bucks. I think last time I looked online. And what's good about these things is You have a, I'll show you that back here. You have an RPK style windage adjustment on here for your windage and elevate, or I should say your windage in our back. Sorry about that. And by doing that, you don't have to move your front sight. Basically, you can keep your front sight dead nuts in the front up here, and you don't have to mess with it if you don't want to. Because I've seen a lot of AKs and stuff like that. They're having the windage post all the way over to the left, to the right, to try to have it dialed in and stuff like that. And that's just kind of stupid if you ask me. And that's why I always tell everybody, if you can find an AK rear sight specifically set up for your platform, since this is a VEPR, it comes from the factory with the original OEM RPK style windage adjustment on here, which is damn good in my opinion right there for that. So basically, you turn it clockwise or counterclockwise the dial in your gun. If your gun is shooting over to the left or wherever, you just move it opposite of that to bring it back over the other side, so it will actually move the grouping. It's basically the opposite what your front post does. Because basically, if your front post for your AKs, if like you say you want to zero your gun at like 50 yards or 25 out there, and say you're shooting to the right out there, well, basically what you do is you move your front sight to the right to bring it over to the left. It's basically the opposite way for your rear sight on there for that. And this is what they look like on the front right there. You can actually see what they look like right here. It's 1, 2, 10 on here for the. It's basically in meters over there for that, because it's not in yards or anything else. But it's a damn good rifle out there. I do like it. I do recommend, if you do get one, get an upgraded gas puck in these things. They have upgraded gas pucks, I think, on Carolina Shooter Supply. I think you can also get them on Legion USA. You can get a stainless steel one, because stainless steel tends to last longer, and it counts as a US compliant part, I believe, as well too. So it's a good upgrade. Stainless steel usually lasts a lot better, and it has a lot higher corrosion protection from your typical environment, stuff like that. If you have a humid environment out there for that. Okay, so I'll basically take this thing apart here and show you what it looks like internally down here as well too. How you take this thing apart? Basically, you want to put your safe down on the side as you normally do for your AKs. Just flip it down on the side. Do that, and you have your button in the back here. These things have a different style of I'm going to call it spring system in the back of your recoil. You have a button in the back. You have to push down here, and you push it down, and you slide the thing forwards, and the whole rear cover pops up. So I'll do that right now for you guys. Let me put this thing down on the ground here, put on the table here. Put that down. Put your finger like me. I'm the left hand, so this is why I'm doing this way. Push that down, push it forwards, and it should pop out without any problem. This thing's kind of still stiff. I cleaned it out probably a couple times since I own it, because I really didn't put a lot of slugs through anything else. But cover folds up just like your crank off out there would do out there for that. And you have all your components down inside here, your spring mechanism. They also have a unique cover that actually goes over top of your bolt and your bolt carryover to keep dust from coming out of here, because you have a elongated piece right here for your dust cover right here. So this piece right here takes up the gap right here, so you don't have any crap or anything else falling down inside over time. So let me take that down again here for you guys. And basically, you just take it down like a typical AK would out there for that. Just take your spring mechanism out of there. The thing is about these ones is they don't have a typical keeper on the end of your spring down the front down there for that. So basically, you just take it down like so. And you actually have 2 springs on these things too. I forgot to mention that. Sorry about that. You have your keeper on here. You have a spring up front. You have your rail, and you have your spring in the back right here. So you have 2 springs counteracting each other for that. So that's your spring mechanism right there for that, guys. And the next piece is your actual bolt and the bolt carrier. I got tons of oil in this thing on here, because I just left them in my safe. I always lube the piss out of these things before I actually take them and just take them apart. So just keep your gun lubed at all times on her, except for the bolt facing on there. You don't want to put any lube on that. Okay, here's your bolt and your bolt carrier underneath there as well too. It's slightly different than your typical AK bolt out there for that. You get a big notch taken out of the top, you get a big notch taken out of the other bottom portion right here, and your bolt, let me flip it out of here for that. Your bolt head on here actually rotates separate from the rest of the bolt body in there for that, so you actually have two pieces of your bolt head on here for that. You have a main piece down here, and you have your front head piece right here as well too. So always keep the front piece clean on here. Keep your bolt face clean, stuff like that. These things have a spring-loaded firing pin in here, so that's a quite nice feature right there as well too to have on these things. So it basically almost eliminates popped primers and stuff like that are for that. And next thing is, I'm not going to do it, but it's almost pointless anyway. Next thing would be to basically take apart your gas tube up here, but since I don't need to really do that right now. You can hear that. You can hear that. That's your gas puck up inside here. That's what actuates your piston right down here for that. It pushes against your piston, and it brings your bolt and bolt carrier back on itself right there for that. And basically, always I would say if you're out the range and you're shooting about 100 rounds through it, your gas puck's only about that big. It basically looks like a little cylinder shape and has grooves in it, almost like a piston ring does on there. And to clean that thing out probably every 100-150 round you put through the gun, because they get a lot of carbon on it. That carbon can probably clog up and stick up on your ports. You have I think about 5 ports down inside your barrel right here on top there, so you want to keep those clean and free of all debris. So after that, you just reassemble the gun and you put the bolt back in a bolt carrier. You have to line up properly in order for it to function right. The main part's like sort of like the AK bolt, but the secondary part here, it has to line up differently. Basically, whenever you put it down inside the receiver here, it has to align just like that. You have to have the extractor over in the bot. Let me see here. If I'm looking at it from the back of the bolt carrier right here, your extractor has to be in about a 1 o'clock position right there for that, in order for it to go down inside the receiver. So you just put that back down or like that, put it back in here, align it up properly, and you slide it back here like so. Bring it down, pull it all the way in the back, pop it down, should go in no problem, just like so. And you put your spring mechanism back inside to let that slide on there, and keep it straight. And make sure your spring assembly lines up with your keeper right here on the side. You have, like I said before, it's another safety feature they got on here. You want to have it lined up right on the top of your bolt carrier right here, just like that. So on top of your bolt carrier, just like that. You don't want to have it cockeyed or anything else, because it'll basically go right back to stock position right there anyway. So it ain't no problem. And the next part, you just slap it down. That's all you do, and you're ready to go. And put the thing back on safety, and you're ready to go there for that, guys. So that's basically a rundown of what they should work like, or I should say what they look like internally, and how they overall look. So everything fits perfect like that. If anybody has any questions, comments, whatnot about this, or if you're interested in possibly buying one of these things, just leave me a message on here, and I'll try to answer any questions you have about them. There is one thing I should mention. I almost forgot. It's the ammunition. Basically, when you get these things brand new, it's a good idea to cycle the bolt. You know, cycle the bolt about 200-300 times. Put a bunch of lube and stuff like that on all the contact points on the receiver down there, plus your trigger mechanism as well too. Just cycle the bolt handle about, like I said, about 100 to 200 times. It'll basically rake over the trigger assembly down there, and it'll actually like try to wear it in there as well too. And whenever you first take it to the range and shoot it, I recommend using full power slugs or full power 00 buck shells as well too, because these things have a unregulated gas system on them, and it's a good idea too, in order to break them in properly, do that, because if because most of the time these guns don't like birdshot unless you actually modify them by putting in a lighter return spring for the recoil mechanism right there. Plus, the other thing is it'd be a good idea to polish up all the components like your trigger group and the bottom of your bolt carrier itself. The actual portion looks like a half moon crescent part down there. You will want to polish up those contact pieces because they make a lot of contact right there whenever your bolt's going over top them like that on there. And by having them nice and polished, you'll be able to eliminate a lot of friction down inside the receiver as well too. So that's basically a review of some of the ins and outs in this style of gun. If you're interested in purchasing them, I see them on I think AIM Surplus, Classic Firearms, Atlantic Firearms, and probably a couple other websites out there for that. But it is a very good firearm, and I do really like it out there for it. So I definitely get a 2 thumbs up if you want a shotgun that's quote not your granddaddy shotgun. It's like a double barrel, you know, side by side one. This is more for I mean, what I call a new modern shotgun out there for it, as opposed to the older styles like over under or side by side and stuff like that out there for that. But it's a well built shotgun. You get I think it's a year warranty on there as well too. So if you have any problems, you can ship it down to I think it's Wolf Performance Arms who deals with the warranty claims for that. But if you do have any problems, they email you a tracking number, so you can actually take it down to your local UPS store, drop it off, and ship it down for any reason. If you have any problems, like it's some kind of a stock problem or something else with the bolt or something else like that. But that's all I can really tell you guys. And it's a great gun, great shotgun I should say, and definitely having the newer GK01 muzzle brake on the end here definitely nullifies your recoil down to a nice acceptable level for that. But that's probably about the best muzzle brake you can get, even though it's very long. It's about 1, 2, 3, 4. It's about 5, 6 inches long on here. So it does add length to it, but it basically helps greatly in the aspect of reducing your recoil for your shoulder as well too. So basically, I'm left-handed, so that's how I shoot like this. It's because these brakes, they have a slots on the right-hand side to push it to the left, so it's like counteracting somebody who's left-handed for that. But I can't complain. It's good. It's a good brake, and that's about everything I can probably tell you about it for. So, like I said before, if you have any questions or you want to purchase one on there, just drop me a line, and I'll try to answer any questions you have, guys. I'll see you.